If you guys don't know who Megan Rapinoe is, she is a pink-haired, radical leftist soccer player. I don't know how else to describe her. I think that's fair. Okay. She is most known for fighting for equal pay without understanding that female soccer players don't generate equal revenue.
Yep.
And that if you look at the percentages they get paid versus the gross that the company generates, that it's they actually get paid more per revenue generated than male soccer players. But that's neither here nor there. She's been advocating for this pure equal soccer pay for women. She's even gotten the attention of Donald Trump and going back and forth with him about her views on different things and her not being a good patriot. And as of lately, she had her last game into retirement. And something chilling happened. Can we show what happened before we go into it? Okay, so this is her last game. And a few minutes into the game, this happens.
She believes this is the chilling evidence that God does not exist.
Okay.
As of late in her career, and there she goes down. Oh, and this is a player that we know has battled some injuries as of late in her career, and there she goes down, just unattested on the top of your screen, off to a bright start.
So there was no contact?
There's no contact.
There was nothing that no one hit her?
Nope.
It didn't even look like that awkward of a moment. I've blown out my ACL before.
Yeah.
That did not look how a blown out ACL would look. So in her post-game interview, she said this was proof that God didn't exist.
Yeah, I thought about it a little bit. I mean, you know, I'm not a religious person or anything. And if there was a God, like, this is proof that there isn't. It's fucked up. So, yeah, it's just fucked up because, like, 6 minutes in. It's just so bad.
Yes, ma'am. You're good.
So according to her, this is unequivocal proof. Her getting injured in the last game of her career is unequivocal proof that there isn't a God. Now, she's joking.
Yeah.
Okay. The best part about this is Twitter took this and completely ran with it. Excuse me, X took this and completely ran with it. All right, pull up some of the tweets. Babylon B went in on her. All right, pull up some of the tweets. Just search her name. Search her name and God. This is amazing. I'm happy that Megan Rapinoe, who mocked God after her injury, is no longer representing the U.S. team. Keep going. There's some other ones. Babylon B went in on her.
This happens sometimes. Checkmate. So we all know there's no way God can exist because bad things happen sometimes. Checkmate. So next time you're tempted to pray to your imaginary sky friend, just comfort yourself in the fact that we're randomly mutated molecules floating along in the cosmos with no inherent purpose or value outside of just being sacks of meat.
And they said, Megan Rapinoe has a point. Here are 9 absolute proof God doesn't exist. That's amazing.
Every Megan Rapinoe failure is actually proof God exists.
Oh, man.
Keep going.
That's brutal.
Megan Rapinoe missing a World Cup penalty kick and getting injured in her final professional soccer game is proof that God exists. He did the world a favor.
LGTV.
Says that majority X users are putting out that this is actually proof God exists and that he has a sense of humor.
That's really funny.
And so that is everything just completely imploding. I prefer to think that it does, just as karma exists. And so she stepped into this trap that she said, or counter, God exists, this is proof. Also, this is hilarious. And so thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of tweets like this about proving God exists. Now, some people were like, hey, it was a harmless joke. Why is everyone trending her? Listen, I always find it interesting that people have no problem with mocking God and mocking faith. And then when they're mocked back, all of a sudden it's an issue, and all of a sudden it's mean-spirited. Like, this is totally unprovoked. You took a L, you injured yourself walking.
He said walking.
And then you have the nerve to say, this is proof God doesn't exist.
Yeah.
While everything about your predisposition for the past couple years has been the opposite of any sort of reverence for God, any sort of reverence or respect for really anybody but yourself. And obviously the verse comes to mind, God is not mocked, right? The man reaps what he sows.
Yep.
But I just find it amazingly poetic that this went down the way it did. Her last game, random freak injury walking.
Chef's kiss.
in the way it happened. It's astonishing. So yeah, I don't know. You got anything else to add to this?
No, that's great. No, man. It's just one of those things where like Twitter wins.
Twitter wins. The internet is undefeated yet again.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be the enemy of X.
Or an enemy of God.
Or an enemy of God.
Why would you want to be an enemy of God?
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Get a prayer journal.
Get a prayer journal. Get a prayer journal. That would be an amazing segue. This is almost as poetic as Christopher Hitchens' loudmouth dying of throat cancer.
Oh.
Darkness.
That's the Andrew Schultz joke.
That is the Andrew Schultz joke.
I know you guys are like, oh man, Ruslan's always talking about the prayers. Yeah, I am. Because I'm hearing the testimonies of the people who are spending time every morning writing in these, documenting their prayers, and then within a very short time going, wow, I didn't realize how many prayers God answers until I just started paying attention to my prayers and praying attention to the things I'm praying for. And then you look back in hindsight, and with a very, very, very short time, you start seeing, oh man, God's actually way more active and way more engaged than we think he is. And sometimes it just takes us time to write down, reflect, and remember. And so that's why we have that blessgodprayer.shop. You get them. I mean, they're $26. Some of you guys spend more than that on coffee a week. Okay. Oof. So get yourself a Bless God prayer journal. If you literally don't have $26, I understand it. Times are hard. BlessGodPDF.shop. BlessGodPDF.shop. You can get it. The PDF completely for free. Print them out. Write in them. But I really want you guys to do that. Like really try just writing out your prayers and seeing how God answers them, because sometimes they're in very, very specific, like borderline spooky ways. I just sometimes think we don't remember. We just be throwing these prayers up and be forgetting what we're praying about.
Yeah. And then there's a section for prayers for other people.
That's right.
Before the prayers for yourself.
That's right.
Sometimes you want to pray for another person, and you might get a supernatural experience through somebody else. Oh, I didn't even know I was praying for that. And they just text me that this is happening.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
We see according to the Bible that prayer is extremely important in terms of us being transformed from the inside out when we get aligned with God's will. For the Christians watching this channel, I want you guys to implement these spiritual disciplines in your day-to-day life. And the only way I've been able to do this consistently is through writing down my prayers in a prayer journal that does a few things. One, it allows me to reflect and come to God humbly and ask him to move on my behalf. And two, it allows me to document my prayers, which ultimately help me remember the very things that I was praying for and see the hand of God tangibly in my life when he answers them. So I would urge you, consider writing down your prayers. It could be in a blank notebook. It could even be on your phone. Or you could check out the one I personally designed and used for my own quiet time and spiritual discipline that I think will be a huge blessing. It's the exact structure and system that I've used for years to pray and be more consistent in my spiritual disciplines. You can pick yours up today by clicking the link in the pinned comment below. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.